Well, all right. Welcome to another edition of Drinks with Johnny, the podcast, the show, whatever you want to call it. I'm here with my co-host with the most, Sam the Hawk Hawkins. He's got a beautiful backdrop. What's going on over there today, buddy?
It doesn't shine as bright as yours, but we just got a new stand for the backdrop we use, like the pop-ups, and I was testing it out, and I said, "Oh, why don't I try it right now?" It's not as lit in this room I'm in, but
it's certainly not, and you can definitely see the folds in the background.
Yeah,
this is the real deal behind me. That's just the backdrop.
This is the AI version. It's like slightly all messed up. And
no, that would be better, actually.
How the hell are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty
Coming
good,
off a big
man.
weekend.
Yeah, it was a big weekend indeed. Big show at the Forum. Was a lot of fun. I got to catch a little bit of the Co-Defendants before I went on, and a little bit of Falling in Reverse. So, I mean, I thought it was a great night. You were there. You tell me what you thought. I had a good time, but I have a different perspective, right?
Well, I think we could do a whole episode on that, maybe on a Thursday for you listening. Check out those. We get a little in depth, but high level. I had a blast. I mean, the lineup was great. Co-Defendants I liked. I've been a big fan of theirs. Actually, I had ordered their vinyl a long time ago. It came the day of the show, and I got to meet them and future guests here. I got their number. We're going to be having them on here in the future.
Oh, awesome.
Falling in Reverse. I only caught a couple songs of theirs. The crowd seemed to really dig them a lot, and then the big show, you guys, man, that was quite. It's a departure from the old Phil. You reinvent yourself every time. The pyro doesn't look as hot. I don't think you're gonna have you're not gonna be like Creed being like, I ain't gonna lie, that was really hot, or whatever Darby said.
Darby said that was, yeah. I mean, we're just reinventing it, man. We did pyro for a long time, loved the pyro, but and we still have stuff burning. It's just using the screens for it, you know, and it's just a cleaner look on the stage, we feel. And it's just, and like you said, it's different. We're reinventing stuff, and we got a new record. We're going to do something different. And I thought the new songs went over pretty well for the album only being out for a week. Everyone knew the words and was singing along, and it was a good time, man. I mean, like I said, from my perspective, I'm on stage looking out, and I was just having a good time. It seems like everybody was too, so I was really interested to see what you thought. You know, I know we talked after the show there for a little bit, but it wasn't the same, you know?
Yeah, I didn't want to bug you too much. I know I always say shaking babies and kissing hands. But it's with that, you know, I was like, we'll get into, well, not now, but we'll get into it a little bit. But I got to say, back to the pyro part, the screens or however you guys are doing it is so crystal clear. It's insane. And the best part, my favorite part of the whole show was when the house is on fire in the back and it looks like you really have a burning house behind you. And that was like really cool. And the music behind it just kind of, it was pretty rad. So, well, and you guys looked like you had so much fun. That was what I enjoyed the most. It's like
we were having a blast.
It looked like it. So,
and Brian doing that little part at the end of stage, he did that in rehearsal the day before. And we were like, dude, you got to just bust that out every once in a while. And he did it day one, like right after rehearsal. I was like, oh my God, brilliant. When he did that little gypsy jazz thing instead of the outro to the stage. But we'll get back to that in a little bit because our guest is here already.
Oh, our guest, Dorothy.
Is prompt. Dorothy Martin of Dorothy is here today. Let's bring her in.
Let's do it. Usually we build. Oh, shit.
Good morning.
What did you just do? Good morning.
Oh, I just spilled liquid death all on the floor. 1 second, Dorothy.
Oh, my co-host. I can't bring him anywhere, even on a Zoom.
I love the bar setup. You got your neon light.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me turn mine on.
You got a neon light, too? That's awesome.
It says, where the magic happens.
I love it. Yeah, this is so you could tell I have my actual home bar behind me. We took a picture and made a backdrop of it to take to like these pop-ups we've been doing here and there. And Sam has it at his house right now, so he's just decided to use it today. So
we got a new stand I was trying out. It's a little too dark. It's a little dark.
Cool. Oh, so that's like a backdrop.
Yeah, it's actually just
His is a backdrop, mine's real.
Yeah, I can see that.
We get a lot of people asking too. It's like, oh, you know, is that just a screen? And he's like, no, that's my house.
Yeah.
You got some cool pictures. What do you got behind you?
So that was the Kiss concert at the Staples Center before the apocalypse happened. That is a poster I got at the Phoenix Hotel in San Francisco on tour. That's one of our original snipes from our first record that they put on La Cienega or one of those streets in LA. So I stole it and got got it framed. And then my old art director did that Blondie poster. We did that Malibu Fire benefit, just tour stuff, music stuff that I've collected over the years.
That's awesome. Are you in LA? Because I know your manager or your publicist that got us in touch was like, she's close enough. Maybe she can come over to the house.
No, I'm in San Diego County, North San Diego County. So I'm like 49 minutes away from Dana Point. And I come up to Orange County all the time. I've been meeting with some branding companies and doing stuff. I have friends that live up there, so I love it. I kind of want to move to Dana Point.
Oh, that's a beautiful spot. Yeah.
That's the goal someday.
What were some of the branding? Can you talk a little bit about the branding people you've been working with?
Yeah, so sure. Yeah, so it's funny how this all came about. My friend started telling me this vision she had, where she's like, you need to start a brand and branch out. And then it's funny because I had multiple people saying this to me, and this meeting got set up with this company. So what I'm looking at doing is creating kind of a start small, I think start simple, rock and roll fashion clothing brand of things that I would actually wear on stage, but then making it available to our fans that want to buy like a cool vegan leather jacket that they saw me wearing. So it's cool because we get to customize it and get it so that it fits great and exactly how I want it to be made. And then we just manufacture those for people who want to shop in the store. And it's separate from like our band merch. It's my own project that I'm doing. So that's something new that's been starting to cook on the back burner.
Do you have
That's
names?
awesome.
Are you thinking of names, or do you have it, or is that still hush?
Yes, I don't want to say what it is because for legal reasons. Yes.
Yeah, it's not copyrighted yet, Sam. Don't mess with it.
We'll come back and promote it when it comes on, and we can talk
For
about
sure.
it.
Oh no, I would love to come plug it and show you the progress and whatnot. It's a pretty cool name. If I can snag it and get it, trademarked, that would be great.
There we go.
So when you say vegan leather, so I mean, I saw your I see you always wear like the awesome jackets. I'm a big jacket guy too, the studs, the spikes, all the above. You said are the jackets that you wear now vegan as well?
Not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them.
What does it make? What constitute a vegan jacket? Like, what do they make it out of then?
Does it just mean not animal? Is any not animal made one?
Animal, yeah. I mean, I'm not a vegan. And I totally respect if you are, that's your choice, I just feel like it might be easier to produce. And then also I don't really want to kill baby lambs to make a jacket, Right. I mean, I'll eat them, but I don't want to
It's so metal though. You got to kill baby lambs.
She's rock and roll. She's not metal. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I don't want to kill them and wear their skin, but I'll eat them because like they're nutritious and delicious. But I mean,
well, I mean that's the thing too. I think a lot of people are becoming more conscious of this stuff too. Because I mean, I know I am at least on the level of. I don't try to eat too much animal, and when I do, I really try and make sure it's like from like a smaller farm if I can and stuff like that. Not always, of course. Not
support your local butcher shops.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, yeah, because it's healthier for the environment too if it's a smaller amount. I mean, I wish I could go completely vegan. I've done vegetarian for like a year, and it was good, but I just couldn't keep it up. I don't know. I guess
Yeah. I'm not quite sure. See, because we have the sharp canine teeth. I'm not quite sure we're supposed to be vegan, but that's a debate that's going to like get a lot of people upset. And, I mean,
well, that's what we do here, Dorothy. We got to get people upset. Let's go.
Triggered. No, at the end of the day, I feel like it's your body and it's kind of your decision, but I certainly tried being vegan for a bit because it was all the rage. And I was very skinny, and I think I was a little unhealthy, so and a little anemic. So I just try to eat clean. I try. It's sometimes it's food.
So hard.
Oh yeah, on the road it gets real tough to eat clean. But I as I know, but like the real thing though that you said there that I try and bring in not just to nutrition, but just to everything in life is like. Do what you want. Like, as long as you're not fucking with anybody else, like I firmly believe everyone should be able to create their own life, create their own meaning, their own purpose, and all that. Is that kind of your feeling on the subject too?
Yeah, I would never want to impose my will on anyone else because I respect the way God does things, and we have free will. So imposing your will on someone else is never a good idea. But I think setting a good example is always a great idea. So I just try to live the best I can. I mean, we're all humans. We make mistakes,
Absolutely. And no one really knows what the hell's going on anyway, so you might as well just like just enjoy it while you're here, right? You know?
Right. What the hell is actually going on?
No one knows, man. It's just
All of a sudden,
everyone just has fun.
they're talking about like aliens in people's backyards.
I saw that. Oh my god, did you see
I
that?
missed
Sam?
this. What is this? No.
Yeah, you know what I love is no one's actually really fazed by it. Like we've become so
That's okay.
inundated. We've become so inundated with bullshit that I don't know like if anyone knows what the truth actually is, and they're just like, oh cool, aliens in your
Sounds
backyard.
about right. Yeah.
Another Friday.
Might as well. But yeah, like so Sam, real quick, I'll explain what we're talking about here. I saw it on Twitter. I was like messing around on Twitter and someone reposted this. Apparently in Las Vegas, someone called the police and stated that there was like 2 9 to 10 foot beings in their backyard, like just hanging out, and like they're definitely not human, but they're standing upright and whatever.
Yeah.
Seems very odd, right?
Big
And then-
eyes.
Yeah, and they had big eyes. Yeah, that was the point.
Am I correct in saying that now that the mainstream media is actually reporting on this?
Yes, that was the retweet was somewhat. It was like Fox or CNN or one of the big.
Nothing to
big
do
ones.
with Nellis Air Force Base. Don't even say that because you'll get canceled.
Wait, what is that?
It has nothing to do with the fact that there are multiple military bases in that area. Don't even mention it.
That's
Well,
a good point. That's a good point.
Has what's his name from Blink-182 commented on this? Has anybody looked to see what
Tom
his?
DeLonge?
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't looked and seen what Tom DeLonge has to say about it, but I'm sure he's got something to say about it. He's been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
But it is funny though. Dorothy brings up a good point that like everyone's just like, oh, that sounds about right. Like,
Yeah.
that was my feeling on it too. Genuinely, I was like, I don't disbelieve that. Like that. Seems,
I'm more inclined to believe the street legend of Project Bluebeam. You know,
which is
This is going great.
that?
What is Project Bluebeam? Please.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any false or inaccurate information, but it has something to do with a government psyop, and I'm more inclined to believe that than actual real aliens. So,
so you're
No,
saying
the government has
it's homegrown. You're saying it's homegrown.
the government has a long-standing history of being completely transparent with the public.
No sarcasm there at all, Dorothy.
Totally reliable. They don't want to control us through fear and deception. That would be crazy.
Never. Why would they do that? Why would they control us that way? No,
Anyway,
it is.
look up Project Bluebeam. I myself
have to look that up.
I'm more into the MK Ultra mind control government sponsored project conspiracies. Like I like looking at that. I'm like, okay, how are they trying to mind fuck everybody, right? And so I like researching that, but I think it kind of might all be tied together in the end when there's a big reveal.
Hey,
I don't know.
I don't think there's going to be a big reveal. That's the other thing. I think people are like waiting around for that, and it's like, why do you think there's going to be this big reveal and we're all going to figure it out? It's like,
Yeah. No one on their
it's a
deathbed would be
bump
like,
up
"It was
again.
me the whole time" or anything like that. I mean,
What if they just took off the mask though? And like, what if it was just like a costume? Like the guy was just walking around in a really rad costume in somebody's backyard.
well, didn't they do that with the Sasquatch or whatever, or
Yeah.
Bigfoot? The guy at his deathbed was like, "Dude, it's all fake." Like I did it with my buddy, and then people still believe it.
I saw a clip of the cop's body cam and the people that had called in, and I mean, of course, they black out the dude's backyard. It's like, okay, well,
Oh, really?
what are we
That
supposed
is
to do with this?
lower.
Like, you just black out the backyard. We can't see anything, so it's like he said, she said.
I felt the same way, and I was like, okay, but I mean,
Show
look,
us the footage.
here's the bottom line though. You have a good idea of that. I don't discredit your theory there of like it's kind of homegrown, but I will say it's a big fucking universe out there. Like we'd be very foolish to think we're the only beings around. In my estimation, it just I do believe that the entropy of our very existence on this planet is mind-boggling. Like it's just like, how did that happen? And I know you have your beliefs on that as well, Dorothy. We could get into that if you want, but for me, it's more like it's just like very, very tough to imagine it only happened once in all of the universe. And so to me, but then I go a little deeper and go, well, how much more advanced are they? Because they could get to us and we can't get to them. What are we really going to do about it anyway? I just really hope they're nice. That's all I can say.
Right. I mean,
That's
well,
not, bottom line. Be good to everybody, right? I mean,
Right.
that's-
Hey, that's the whole
transcends
thing.
everything.
And that's what I would hope. If they're that much more advanced than us, that they can get to us and stuff. Hopefully, their societal and their civilization has also advanced to a point where they don't just go around fucking with people.
well, there's been so many interesting things. There's been like, pilots and Air Force people that have said like nuclear reactors get shut down and things like that. So you just never know. It's really interesting. If you read the Bible, there is stuff that sounds extraterrestrial. There is
Really?
Yeah.
this idea of fallen angels. It's fallen angels out of the sky. This being that is like not human and definitely outside of our realm of understanding. Sounds to me like it could be extraterrestrial. Maybe it's just we're just using different language, right, to describe.
That was the show. I used to watch that show, Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
They cover a lot of that. No, they do. They
Yeah, but we
reference
know the truth
Bible
about
and
ancient
they-
aliens. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Joe Escalante spilled the beans on that one for us, but he was he was a producer on the show. And do you know Joe Escalante from the Vandals, Dorothy?
No, I don't.
Oh, he's a really good dude. And he's produced a lot of TV shows and stuff like that. And he's like, dude, we it's based somewhat on a little bit of truth, and then they just like go crazy with it.
Go crazy.
With Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, but there is some stuff that is biblical that sounds extraterrestrial. So that's always been very interesting.
I agree.
I believe someone had mentioned it's in the book of Ezekiel. So maybe worth reading it through that lens of, are these aliens? I'm going to read the book of Ezekiel and see if it, sort of makes sense to my brain.
That's kind
Yeah.
of cool perspective of it all.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so this new album, a little bit departure, a little bit more into that. I hear you had kind of an experience between the last album and this one, and it definitely transcends. It's a really cool kind of gospel rock vibe to it. I totally dug it. Do you want to speak a little to that right now? If you don't mind, we'll get the business out of the way.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. No, I mean, well, this album, I wanted it to sound more like my first record, but with less of the fuzzy distortion, garage type rock. I wanted, clear, bright, powerful vocals, lots of guitars, singable melodies, and then all these lyrics started coming to me during the writing sessions that felt so inspired and so positive. I mean, I was having like full body goosebumps during some of these songwriting sessions.
Oh, that's the best.
I love it. It's amazing. And it's true. I did have a very spiritual experience on my tour bus years ago. I wasn't religious. I wasn't even sure if God was real. I was just like kind of depressed and bummed out. And I was just like, God, if you're real, I need you to reveal yourself to me. And then the next day I witnessed a miracle where this guitar tech overdosed and died. And now I've been born again. I got saved in rehab. I've been reading the Bible, although that's not something I really care to push on anybody. It's my own journey, and
Right.
it affects my songwriting in that I plant, some seeds get planted, but by no means are we a religious Christian band. Everyone in my band is totally different. We're all walks of life, and it's amazing, and we all love each other. It's so great. But I couldn't help but put some of this into this album, and like the album title came to me randomly. I woke up, it's like the first thing that popped into my mind. I didn't even know what it meant. I just wrote it down. I'd seen this miracle on my bus, and since then I've had supernatural experience after supernatural experience that has put me in the place where I'm like, there have been people that have said the nastiest, most hateful thing to me. And I'm like, well, it doesn't change my experience. And I just feel sorry for you that your life is not that exciting. Like mine is. It's awesome. And I'm going to keep walking this walk and talking about it with people and hopefully inspiring them. So that's how that album kind of came to be. And it was just a reflection of that spiritual journey that was happening in my life.
There's
you
a
grow
few
up
things there. Hold on, Sam. I gotta stick in there.
Do it,
I gotta,
please.
I gotta.
You are
There's
the
a couple
host.
things in there. There's a couple things in there I wanna go a little deeper on. One, I just got to point out, like when you mentioned the goosebumps, I think that's something that all songwriters or aspiring ones rather need to recognize is like if something you wrote and something you listen back to gives you the goosebumps, it's going to do it for somebody else out there, and that's when you know you got something, right?
Totally. It is so funny when I say something, and I'm getting chills right now because when I say something that is so in alignment with the truth, my whole body will break out in chills. It's like your body knows, your spirit knows, you get confirmation. So, so when you're doing that in your songwriting, that's a good indication that you're onto something. When I'm speaking to someone, all of a sudden that power will come on me and I'll just start speaking to them, and it'll be something that they really need to hear, that they are going through something, and it's just like they're getting ministered to. Same thing will happen. So, so that's a really good indication. I feel like we have these extra senses that people numb and block out and don't really listen to because they're listening to all the noise out there. When there's a way to know what's going on in here.
Right. And I think that's the litmus test for songwriting in a lot of respects. Like for me, it's always been that, like, you have a feeling. Everyone always asks, you can do all these interviews and stuff and like, well, what was the inspiration for this and all that kind of bullshit. And it's nice, and they're doing your job and getting the point across. But it's really those moments that when you're by yourself or with your bandmates or whatever, when you just like look at each other, you get that feeling. And whether it's going to be a success or not is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant at that point.
Absolutely.
It's just you know what it's supposed to be, and I think that's beautiful that you mentioned that. And I couldn't let that go without diving into that a little deeper.
Totally, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing worse than writing a song that makes you feel dead inside, or I'm really drained right now. Like, what is this? Is there anything of substance in this? Like, that to me, that's when I'm like, next, let's move on to the next idea.
Yeah, those are the ones you crumple up and throw in the trash bin for sure.
Well, then you're doing for other people, which, I mean, social media and stuff is doing, right? Everybody's living off whatever other people think. But the things that stay true are when you're speaking true to yourself and you're writing from the heart. If you're just writing to get a rise, which it seems like you're writing from the heart.
Totally writing from the heart.
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you about, you said, you've spoken about the incident on the bus with your guitar tech dying in front of you guys and then coming back to life, the miracle that was for you guys. But then you said you had some other supernatural things happen. What are some of the other things you've seen since then?
I mean, we could get real weird if you want.
Let's get weird.
Get
weird.
Well, one thing I personally experienced that was amazing is I had chronic neck pain for years and no relief, and I spent a lot of money, and this is my personal experience. Listen, I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. Okay. Don't get crazy out there with all the listeners on, you're not a doctor. Okay. I tried chiropractic. I tried acupuncture. I tried drugs and alcohol. I couldn't turn my head that way without sharp pain shooting down. And I was under chiropractic care for years. You don't understand. Now, I probably did it to myself with headbanging. Mm-hmm. Probably. So I'm going to assume responsibility for that. However, I literally went into my app on my phone in 2021 and I said, God, I'm in excruciating pain. My neck hurts. Please, please heal me. Okay. 2 years go by. I'm going through a terrible breakup. It's totally traumatic and awful. He cheats on me on Valentine's Day. I go to my church.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I'm not going to it's not about him. Pray for him. Hope he gets, hope he has a come to Jesus moment. I literally go to my church sobbing, just totally dejected and broken. And my friend Lauren puts hands on me, starts praying. She's like, what do you need? I go, I want my neck to feel better. I'm like in pain all the time. She puts her hands on me and this magnetic power pulls my body up like this. So it was like I was getting stood up straight. I felt whatever was in me come out through my neck. I start crying and all of a sudden all the pain's gone. I can move my head. There's no pain whatsoever. And I'm totally loose and limber. I still do chiropractic care. I still do fitness. I still do self-care, take care of my body. But this was so incredibly powerful because it's undeniable. It happened on Valentine's Day when I had a broken heart and I got healed. And to me, that was just an acknowledgement of, you're my daughter. I see you. I'm going to heal you. And that was my personal miracle. I've seen other things too. I mean, it's really weird. Like, I feel like my eyes have been opened. So now nothing surprises me. And I've seen a lot of weird supernatural things. I'll tell you one. Years and years and years ago, I was living in Los Angeles in a townhouse, like in the Mid-Wilshire area by the Grove. And this apartment, this like townhome, expensive luxury apartment building complex was totally cursed. I mean, there were stabbings there was murder suicide, there was all sorts of drug deals gone wrong, and this is like supposedly a nice well-to-do apartment building that is ridiculously overpriced, right? And the person that I was dating at the time asked me to move in. I had my own apartment, they had their own apartment, asked me to move in, so I gave up my apartment, moved in. He has a Ouija board on the wall.
Okay.
And I was like, get rid of that. That's not going to fly with me. At the time, I'm not even saved. I don't know God. I don't know any of this stuff. I was just like, that's fucking creepy, and get rid of it. Sorry, I'm so trying hard not to curse. Okay.
Wow. I don't mind. You can curse all you want. It's up to you. Find your own meaning in life.
Yeah, perfect, right? So anyway, I'm like, I tried to burn it. It doesn't burn. I'm like, this is going in the trash chute. It's going in the trash chute.
Wait. What do you mean it didn't burn?
No, it didn't burn.
What was it made out of?
Where do you buy it?
Black magic? I don't know.
What the fuck?
Well, all
Did you try lighter fluid too?
I don't think I spent that much effort on it, but I was like, this has got to go. So I threw it in the trash. But anyway, it still opened a portal because this is so crazy. We're sitting on the couch, totally sober. No one's tripping on LSD. No one's taking acid. No one's taking shrooms. No one's drinking. We're just watching Netflix. And I see a shadow person walk up the stairs out of the corner of my eye, and I see it turn and go up the stairs. And I looked at him. I didn't say anything. And he goes, yeah, I saw it too. Let's get the
both saw it?
He saw it too. And he's like, let's get out of here. I'm like, yeah. And then that's when we went to the bar, because it was like, that was too much. No. And I go,
yeah, after that, you're like, I need a drink. I need a drink after that. Like, fuck
this is what happens when you mess with Ouija boards, you idiot. Anyway, I think he's lost his mind. But anyway, a lot of crazy things happened in that apartment, and that was one of them. So I've seen some stuff.
Wow. It's so interesting to me to hear these stories, Sam. I don't know about you, because I've never... I don't know that I've ever had anything like that I've seen in my life. And I try to be pretty open-minded. It's not like I'm a naysayer of any kind. I mean, your experience is your experience, obviously, right? I've just never seen anything like that before. I don't know why. I don't know if
there's a good, I know why. I know why. Okay. So there's a good reason probably. There might be that you're veiled for your own protection, and it could come off later in life at the right time. Like everyone gets called to their purpose at the right time in their life. And I didn't see any of that stuff my whole life either. It wasn't until like my mid-20s that my sensitivity, it was honestly so unbearable. It's probably the reason that I drank and used so much, I was just super sensitive. I was like able to see in between the physical world and the spirit world. And now being where I'm at, I'm like, okay, it's a gift, learn how to use it, But there was a time where nothing miraculous happened, nothing exciting happened. But when
I didn't say nothing exciting happened, but
meaning in the supernatural sense of
right.
phenomenon happening, but once it did, it was like all hell broke loose and all sorts of things started happening. So I now know what it is, but it could be for a very good reason that's not happening to you at this time in your life, and perhaps it might hit you later. You never know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, I'm open-minded to it. I mean, I feel like I went through a little bit of an existential crisis over the last 5 years, and I recently found my purpose as a father and husband and bandmate and just human being. I just feel like just good to be good to other people. And that's kind of my whole purpose and philosophy on life at this moment. So
really good.
I don't know. Maybe something else will come up. I don't know. I'm open. I know enough to know I don't know anything, just like Socrates.
Yeah, we often compare you to Socrates too.
That's
right?
On the show, right? That's all the comments we get. Like,
by the way,
he's so brilliant. He's like Socrates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, by the way, are we drinking anything? Because I'm having a latte that I made. And I brought my fancy lemon water because it said drinks with Johnny. So
yeah, no, those are definitely the drinks. I am currently having a White Claw. It is a Sunday afternoon. I'm hanging out with the family after this, and I went down to the club and had a Bloody Mary. I still partake. Obviously, I got a bar in my house, but yeah.
Lucky
and
duck.
Sam, what's that?
You lucky duck.
I guess I don't know. But yeah, Sam's got. What do you got over there? You got your water?
Yeah, I just got Liquid Death. When I drank, I don't drink as much, but I did have a couple drinks at your at your show the other day. And in fact, Stryker, we can talk later about it, but Stryker and I shared a shot. We were cheersing to podcasting.
Whoa, you actually had a shot, Sam? You never take shots.
I know, right? Stryker broke it out of me.
Wow.
Because then he ends up freaking, right?
He usually does. There's a sink back
no,
here.
No, we don't need to go.
Oh, yeah, we're going there.
It's literally to the left over his shoulder there.
Yeah, and we had a business meeting at my bar, and it lasted several hours, and he was drinking, what was it, straight Kahlua or something?
It was Bumbu. I drink a whole bottle of the Bumbu cream.
But it's like the liqueurs. It's the cream that you're supposed to like put in other drinks. He's just drinking it straight, and I'm like, this is a terrible idea. And a couple hours later,
that's awesome.
Puked in the sink.
That's he's the worst. I would do.
But Johnny's the worst. So I'm there. He's literally sitting in that chair to the left of his shoulder. I'm puking my guts out, and all he's doing is watching TV and continuing to talk to me about business ideas. I'm like,
hey, we were there for business, man.
Speaking of business, I mean, you have this podcast. Do you have your own beverage that you've branded?
I do. We have a West Coast style IPA that I did partnered with Four Sons Brewing here in Huntington Beach.
Awesome.
And then we're actually next month we're dropping seltzer. That's why I've been drinking seltzers again. Research.
That's awesome. And, the seltzers are outselling everybody. Would you ever be interested in doing a non-alcoholic type beverage that has maybe GABA, L-theanine, collagen, things in it that are good for you, that are for people who don't want to drink alcohol, but has magnesium and the things that help you relax?
Like the recesses. Yeah. No, I took about 6 months off of everything last year. And there's the Athletic Brewing Company has a really good non-alcoholic beer. It actually tastes really good. There's the Recess and Moods that I've had, the CBD drinks of all those kinds of. I would love to do it. I don't know. I don't have a contact that. Maybe you could help.
I would love to do one too. I'm going to do some research. I bought the Recess. The CBD drinks are a little too pricey, and they're not real. They're flavored, but there's no sweetness to it. So if you want to, I mean, it's one of them I tried was a little bit bitter, but I was thinking there needs to be some sort of. There's Kin Euphorics. They've done it. They're out of Austin, Texas. I actually bought one. It's like a vanilla lavender flavor. It's really good, and it's got all the good calming supplements in it. Without being, I think it was like $3.99 for a can. It's not too bad.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Well, the good thing about that too, the alcohol thing is distribution, right? So we have a lot of fans who want to try this, but unless you're a California local or it's distributed within the things, they can't. So, I mean, a lot of people are doing those root beers and stuff like that, which is kind of cool that, people can get it over to different states. And I think you got something smart.
We should do it. We should hit up Sammy Hagar and because I know he has his own drink too, and see if he'd want to, like, I don't know, brainstorm and partner. I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, we actually have a contact there, and that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all, Dorothy. See, this is what we do. We get on, we start collaborating with our guests. This is awesome. I enjoy this.
Awesome. You never know. You never know what could come of it. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things, though, back to music. That's what, a lot of people go like, why aren't they talking about music? Well, fuck off. I talk about what I want. But I do want to talk about, you guys sold out the Troubadour a few weeks ago and had a buddy of mine, Slash, on the stage with you. How was that? How'd that come to be?
It was so awesome. So I did a song for Music Cares with Mike Klink. I don't think it's even out yet. And so obviously Mike Klink, produced GNR and put me in touch with Slash. And then that's how the conversation of him coming to the show came about. And no one was looking at me. It was fantastic. They were just, as soon as he came out, it was just like, so I got to just chill and take a break in the middle of the set. And it was the first time we'd ever played that song. And I completely had a brain fart and flubbed the lyrics, but I don't think they knew,
I didn't pick it up watching the video. So.
Neither did I. And that's another funny thing, like from a perspective of a performer too, is like, we are always like even the other night at the Forum, like I had a couple fuck ups and I was just like, fuck. And then like, I talked to everybody else and they're like, I didn't notice. I was like, cool. It didn't happen then.
Same. I'll be like, oh, I must have, and I'm like, I didn't even notice. Dude, my bass player ate shit on stage during a tour with Greta Van Fleet where he like slipped and just completely ate shit and the bass cut out. And the crowd, apparently, he said, they were like, "Are you okay?" I didn't even hear it or notice it. I just kept, and afterwards I felt so bad. I'm like, "Are you okay?" too?"
I had a fucking very similar experience just in Florida. Our guitarist Zach fucking went heels up. He's all, "Dude, I fell on stage." And I was like, "What you
Heels
did?"
up.
I forgot to talk about it. I saw the clip of that. And
Yeah, Zach posted. He sent us a clip of it because none of us saw it. Like the entire band, we're like, "You fell? We had no idea." And then he ended up posting it because we were like, "Dude, that's so good." He popped right back up, and I guess that's
Right.
why I didn't notice it. But
Yeah, you guys are so slick. Like even that, you pull it off.
I don't know about pulling it off. We're just having fun. It's funny. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you beyond music, you're an avid boxer. Is this
Well,
true?
yeah, I love it. I love boxing. I was also doing Muay Thai. I haven't done it
Sick.
in a while because I kicked the heavy bag with my right leg in a weird angle, and so the my right hip socket was out and weird for a bit. So I've been see, I mess up my neck. I know it's all my fault. No, I kicked it weird and it messed my hip up, and I've been getting adjusted and stuff. It's just now starting to feel better, but it's such a good workout because one, I get all my anger out. Two, I've got a skill where perhaps if I'm ever in need, I can defend myself. And three, it's like the quickest way to get in shape. It's so hard. You're pushing your body to the max. So afterwards, you just feel so good and accomplished. And if I stick with it, I notice my whole body composition just changes so quickly.
Oh, I totally agree. I do some kickboxing too. Not like sparring or anything like that. I just do the heavy bag mostly.
Got me
as
either.
well.
Don't hit me
Don't
in
want to
the
mess up the merchandise.
the moneymaker.
Yeah, don't fuck with the merchandise.
I can't take any throat shots. No.
No kidding, right? Yeah, for you. Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I do find the same thing. Like the workout of it is great. Those three facets of it you just explained are absolutely true to me as well. But I wanted to know further. Are you a boxing fan? Do you have a favorite boxer? Do you watch the matches very often, or is it more just for fitness?
It's more for fitness. I pop in now and then. We had a famous female boxer in the Victorious music video I just did with Nita Strauss.
Yeah,
So
Nita, good friends. Nita and Josh, good people, man. I saw that video. That's a great one. You guys did it. Is it Jackson? I read on the ring post said like Jackson on it, and then I think that's where you trained sometimes too. Is that right?
it was we shot the Black Sheep video there. It's
Black Sheep was
Jackson boxing gym in LA. Yeah, I shot my video there, and then they had this treatment for this. I think it was just a coincidence, but I'm like, cool. I get to do 2 boxing videos.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then I'm blanking on her name, but we featured this awesome female boxer in the video, and yeah, I think it's good. It's good for young women, young girls to see that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My daughter is in she does Krav Maga. I don't know if you know what that is. Yeah, it's like more Israeli self-defense, and it's just so fun. She's 12 years old, and we put both my boy and girl in it, and she just took it. She's very like rule and structured, and she likes discipline stuff, and it's just so fun to watch her kick the shit out of all the boys. Like, and even like when she goes, they'll bring out the cameras because it's fun to watch her just destroy. And and as a father, not to go fight or do things like that, but from a self-defense and confidence, just to get out of situations. I do think it's very important for females to protect themselves and feel confident in themselves,
Yep.
So.
Yeah, but best believe I still have bear mace and a taser in my car. So if you're gonna try to come for me in a parking garage, you're gonna get jacked up. I just want everyone to know that.
Just
Prepared.
let everyone know Dorothy's ready.
Also, I'm going to the
Dorothy's ready.
shooting range and working on my aim. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't fuck with Dorothy. That's the moral of that story. Do you watch UFC at all?
sometimes here and there, or I'll just I'll listen to like Joe Rogan's recap. I'm not really super into watching everyone else fight. It's more for me, for my own mind, for my own well-being. I'm not like a huge sports person in general.
Okay.
I know.
So there's you don't have a team, you don't have anything like that?
Not
Or a
really.
sport?
Not really, but like if I got pressured into it, I would happily sing the national anthem at a game.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Just throwing it out there. Dorothy will sing the national anthem.
And then I know what like a touchdown looks like.
Isn't that the thing with the basket that goes in the hoop?
Yeah. No, I did
ball
cheer
goes in
in
the
high
hoop.
school. I did cheer. So it was during football season, we were on the field, and then during basketball season, we were cheering inside, in the basketball, on the basketball court. So I know the difference between basketball and football, but that's probably where my sports knowledge ends.
When you were back then, did you have the rock ties and stuff, or was that a tradition like later, or how did that come?
The rock ties, the what?
With rock and roll and where you're at now from where
yeah.
you were then?
I got in so much trouble.
Cheerleading.
I got in trouble for wearing black nail polish and listening to Marilyn Manson. I was like, me and my
A
old
cheerleader that was wearing the black nail polish and
if
listening
I
to
had any
Manson.
say, our outfits would have been way better. I'm just saying, like, me and my big sister Ariel on cheer, we were listening to all the heavy, music and wearing eyeliner and black nail polish, and the coach is like, "Take it off." We're like, "No."
I think didn't Heidi
Did you
do it?
enjoy doing that then? Did you enjoy being a cheerleader, or like what made you want to do cheer then, and being kind of the outcast on the team?
Yes, because I was so hyper, I needed to do something. Like I needed to do something athletic. And it was, I don't know, I was like naturally good at it because I had done, as a kid, I had done dance and gymnastics. And so I just had that, so it was something I was natural. I was actually shocked. My jaw hit the floor when I found out I made the team. And I did JV and was moved to varsity as soon as I was able to be on varsity, because you have to be a certain age or in a certain grade. And I just couldn't believe it because I don't think anyone knew I existed. And I was really super shy and weird. But then when I made the cheer team, I was like, ha ha. No, it was fine. I mean, it was a fun thing to do. It was fun to be part of the games and be social and have an activity to do in school and not be isolated. So it did good things for me.
I was curious on that, like how people get into cheer, because we've talked to like Chappelle Lacey, the comedian. He's a larger African American dude, and he was like all about cheer, and he can go, like he still can, like he posts videos every once in a while of him like
Doing backflips
and shit, and he's like a big dude, and I'm like,
Dude, it's so dangerous. Cheerleading is like a crazy dangerous sport. So people don't realize. I couldn't really do the flips like some of the girls. I was, I think, a little taller at the time, so I was definitely a base. I got cracked in the face by an elbow, and I think fractured my nose, or maybe broke it a little bit. But I never did anything about it. It's just, it is what it is, and so it's dangerous for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's true. Like you're throwing people around and stuff like that. So limbs are flying and stuff. Someone's going to get cracked in the face. But I got you ready for the pit, though, right? Or were you ready for the pit then?
I've actually, first of all, if I see a pit forming, I leave. And sorry to disappoint all the rock fans. I also never crowd surfed.
Whoa. I
Well,
haven't
something you
crowd
hurt
surfed
yourself
either,
enough.
So I've been in pits, but I've never crowd surfed either, so don't feel so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the outside, like, get away from me, like at the shows down Soma, so lame. Yeah.
Did you mention the Soma?
Yeah.
I remember. I have very fond memories of that spot.
Soma, Casbah, Belly Up. That's like the San Diego spots.
Oh, for sure. So were you born and raised down there?
I was born in Eastern Europe. My mom escaped communism when I was like 3 years old, and some crazy family shit that was happening, and came to San Diego, and I was raised in San Diego, and yeah. So I always felt weird, like I never fit in, it was weird to kind of flee from that situation and then just end up in San Diego, and everyone's got, these beautiful little families, and it's sunny, and I'm just like, what am I doing here?
Wow. So how old were you when you guys moved out here?
I want to say like around 3 years old. Yeah. So I barely remember it. I remember some. I went to German preschool. I remember some of Hungary and Germany, and then I remember going to kindergarten down here. And I just, I had a hard time, I think, adjusting. So I would just read a lot, like read book after book after book, and would just kind of isolate and be weird. So like I said, when I did the cheer thing, I was like, I can't believe that I'm doing this. This is wild.
That's a wild. I mean, that's a crazy journey. I mean, there's no way around that. Coming from a completely different place, coming in, and then, as you said, when you're reading, what are the books you're reading that you're going through when you're dealing with all this?
As a kid, I don't even remember. I just so many. So when we had book fairs, I would just go grab everything, and it's hard to remember. I mean, of course, they made us read, all the curriculum books like Catcher in the Rye, 1984, Animal Farm, Brave New World, all those things that they make you read. But I was probably just reading a whole lot of just, I don't know, fiction, nonfiction, anything. Now I read more weird weird stuff like government sponsored mind control, exposing Project Paperclip. I'm reading the CIA's control of Candy Jones. She was one of the most successful, famous models of the United States. She was like the original pinup, and I just started the book, and it's really interesting. So it's about
What's that called?
It's called the CIA's control of Candy Jones. Like, she worked for the government, and she blacked out large spaces of time where she doesn't remember what she did, but she was a courier for the three-letter agencies. So it's interesting. It's an interesting topic to me.
If you were into that,
my wife would love that stuff. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
there was a whole podcast about the guy who shot Robert F. Kennedy, and about how he might have had
Sirhan?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Did you hear the podcast about?
He doesn't remember doing any of it.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
That's some Manchurian Candidate shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you know
That
your
shit's
shit.
wild. Yeah, that shit's wild. So wait, are you an actual like paper book reader? I know that sounds hilarious,
Yes.
but like, because I'm an audio guy. I've said it here on the shows so many times. The regular listeners probably don't want to hear it again. But like, I found like in the last 10 years that I can't retain the information as well when I'm reading it off the page. But if I'm listening to it, I retain the information much better.
So it's the opposite for me. That's interesting. And you would think, being a musician, for me, it would be audio. Sometimes I do, like watching podcasts and stuff. But for me, if someone's explaining directions to me, I start to tune them out. If they're just talking, I just start to tune them out. And it's hard for me to absorb that. So, but if I see it written down, or I see an image or a picture of it, then for some reason I'm able to retain it so much better.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. It doesn't matter what you do for your profession. It's just the way you retain information. I always wonder about that though, if they would ever incorporate that into curriculum sometime. Because I mean, like they always talk about like when kids are learning and stuff, and some of them are having trouble with it. Like, what are they trying to do to get that information across? Are they just nope, this is the way you got to do it, or are they starting to? Or is there going to be a time, because I know they're not doing it yet, but is there going to be a time when they start understanding that like everyone is different? They have their own perspective. They have their own way of learning. It doesn't mean that they're incompetent. It just means that maybe not always, but maybe there's something there where you can help them along the way, instead of being like, if you can't do it this way, you just can't do it.
Yeah, that's literally something I was just about to say. I think I struggled in school. There was a time where I got really good grades, but I think I became very disinterested and disillusioned because of the way that school is so black and white. It's one size fits all, and that's just not how human beings are. And plus, if you have kids that have suffered trauma, their brain is on fire. They can't pay attention. They're in fight or flight all day long, So how are they supposed to retain and learn? And everyone's different. So it was like, do it one way, do it this way. We're going to grade you. And then you feel like a failure if that's not your cup of tea and that's not how you learn. I was much more abstract, artistic brained, creative. And we had theater and after school cheerleading. Like where's the art program? Like in my school, there was just, I failed chemistry because it looked like Greek to me. I got a D. I was like, I'm not doing this shit. I can't, this is not, what am I learning? I don't understand this,
It's so funny you mentioned that though too, because like math and science was always something that I gravitated towards, and my son does now too. And it got to a point where it was like becoming chemistry and stuff like that, where it just wasn't computing anymore. But now I found in my adult age, I listen to podcasts or audio books on those very things of science and chemistry and string theory and everything, and all these things. I find them fucking super fascinating now. It would have been really cool to find them fascinating when I was a kid, right?
Yeah, I think it was like the delivery was not working for you. The way that it was being, the information was being delivered was not something that you just vibed with, you know?
Right.
And then I took a AP genetics, and I aced that class. I loved that class. You know, I got to see how your human cells are and how your biology works. And I had a really compassionate, amazing teacher. And he taught us not with just a bunch of, you know, blah, 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 black and white. It was in color. It was like we were given images. We were given hands-on, like learning how to use a centrifuge and just learning how to. It was very touch and feel and like 3D instead of just like, you know, 1 + 1. I felt like
the old Peanuts teacher in the background here.
That was my chemistry class. He literally spoke like that too. I was just like,
I'm going to sleep, or I'm not showing up. Well, Sam, your wife is a teacher. You can speak to
I'm
this
like biting my tongue of like, I have so much to say about her, but I don't know how much. On a high level, my wife's a very progressive teacher. She's very new school, and it's funny listening to you because she comes and talks about the same things. I don't want to throw her in the bus too much, but she will have other co-teachers that are old school that just print off a bunch of worksheets and hand it out, and they've planned out their year every single year. So they've been in the same grade for 10 years. It's like cookwork and or you know, cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But she will join these new teams and they're like, oh, here, we made copies for everyone in this grade to do this. And she's like, I'm not going to use those. I'm doing small groups. I'm doing hands-on. I mean, I'm figuring out week by week. I'm not doing the same thing. And it's unfortunate that it happens. And it's all on, I think, the teacher more of who does it. And when we grew up, it was very much that culture of just cookie cutter and giving out worksheets. I do know there's some new teaching ways in the way my wife's doing it and some others that hopefully will turn this shit around, get the kids, especially with COVID. I mean, shutting down schools, doing all this homeschooling, all these kids are, you know, behind because of that. So I don't know.
That's refreshing to hear. That's good. That's great. Yeah.
The more you know, this is like our PSA to for hope. It's just going to put a graphic over it for that. But
or they'll all be dummies. We'll see. One of those.
Yeah, well, you know, either way, it's all good. They'll figure it out. It's all good. I wasn't. I'm not a brainiac. I figured out a few things along the way. You know, it's kind of what you do as a human, right?
Yeah. So you guys played together. Did you guys know that? You guys played a festival together, or are going to?
Did we just play a festival?
Sonic Temple.
Sonic Temple. Wow. Yeah. It all becomes one blur.
Oh, totally.
What am I waking up in today?
And I didn't even realize, this is funny. I was having dinner with Danny Wimmer the night before, or 2 nights before when we got in. And I just then realized that Sonic Temple is the new Rock on the Range, and it's at the same place. I was like, oh, I've done this festival before. I didn't realize it was the same fucking festival.
Yeah, I was like, I remember this cement hallway.
Yes, exactly. Partied with Tommy Lee in the dressing room over there. But yeah, so how did that go for you? How was your festival experience?
Oh gosh, okay. Well, it was interesting. So I had something crazy happen during Sonic Temple where I'm in the middle of singing a song called A Beautiful Life. And then 15 security guards in yellow shirts just rush the stage and they're like, stop. And at first I'm like, oh shit, the stage is going to collapse or my drummer's on fire or something, you know, and I'm looking around like, what? And then I was like, guys, stop. And then finally, what catches my eye is, you know how they have the runway in between the crowd and there's like thousands of people on each side. And there was a man just sprawled out on the ground. So it was a knee-jerk response. I just started praying for him. I was like, just praying for him. It was like emergency 911. I don't want to say that he did something, you know, I don't know what happened to him. I did get feedback later from his friends on Twitter, and what they witnessed and what they said was he doesn't remember any of it. He was completely unconscious. There was a woman who was CPR certified that was there as well and witnessed. There were no paramedics. They were like all the way over there trying to make their way over to where he was. And they said when you stopped praying, he opened his eyes. And then he doesn't remember any of it, but he was okay. And then so the security guards were like, okay, he's okay. You can continue the show. So it was crazy that happened in the middle of our set. But we just kept it going and went to the next song. And my bass player didn't see it, just like when I didn't see that he fell. And my guitar player was like, what happened? And then my drummer's like, that was awesome. I don't know, it was crazy.
All the different perspectives from the same stage. See, people like everyone got. Who was the hip hop artist that got in trouble? Like everyone was like mad at him when
where they rushed the stage.
Astroworld.
Astroworld, yeah.
Travis Scott.
Yeah, Travis Scott, and everyone's like, "Oh, how do you not see that?" And I'm like, guys, I understand. This is ignorance, not in the derogatory term, but you don't understand like what that perspective is like on stage. Like you can't really comment on that. The guy's wearing sunglasses. There's lights in his eyes. You need someone else to let you know. A lot of times when that happens. I mean, we were in Vegas and we had to stop a song for a second. It happens. You know, there's a lot, thousands of people.
There's a lot going on.
There's so much going on, and to come at an artist for not seeing it, I thought was pretty sheepish. I was like, come on, guys, like. I'm sure, I don't know Travis or his camp or anything like that, but I'm sure had they known, they would have stopped something. You know what I mean? It's not like it's unfortunate. No one's going to no one on the stage is like hoping people get hurt out there. Just hoping everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, unless they're doing a satanic ritual.
Wait, what? What? Wait, do you have an experience where there was a satanic ritual going on?
100%.
Here we go.
Unless they're doing some black magic occult ritual on stage, and it's been known to happen. I'm not saying that's what Travis Scott was doing. I did watch some of the fan clips of their own iPhone footage, and they were scared out of their minds, and they said the whole experience was very dark and ominous. And I wasn't there, but it's very tragic what happened to the audience members. And for me personally, if someone starts fighting, I stop the show. And the thing about Sonic Temple is everyone was so damn well behaved. Like they're so respectful. Our fans are awesome. The rock fans, most of the time, are super caring and have each other's backs, and they want to have a safe, fun experience. It's almost like a big family, right? So I can't say, because I've never experienced anything like that other than the guy passing out, and I prayed for him, and I probably made an ass out of myself on stage, but that's fine. What else are you going to do in that situation? I was like, you think of something better. Like, I can't help him. I can't go to him, so I'm going to try to do this from here. But yeah, no, I've seen some weird shit go down at some other people's concerts.
Would you like to divulge a little bit more about that?
No, I think how about this? I'll say this. I witnessed a weird, what appeared to be an occult ritual on stage, and what I observed at a very big artist's concert at a very big stadium. What appeared to happen afterwards was all hell broke loose. Could have been all the drugs and alcohol people were taking, but it was so overtly, it was so like much. And I sensed it. I was like, this is really weird. And some of the ladies that were working at the stadium cleaning up, they're like, we're not down with this witchcraft. So they were laughing about it. And I was like, for real? Like, and they're like, oh, hell yeah. Like none of this. They didn't want anything to do with it. They're like, we just work here. So it seemed that people started acting absolutely batshit crazy after that. And I had a personal experience with someone that it did not go well that night, and it was very traumatizing and scary. So now looking back, I go, did that have something to do with it? Maybe, but I've never seen anything like that at a Danny Wimmer or a rock festival, because our group is just so well behaved and awesome.
And
you say that now, then we're going to go out to another. They do a good job, yeah. Danny Wimmer's never.
No, they are.
You say that now, and you're going to set us up for failure, there, Dorothy. Like
no way. Like, we're gonna just say that the next show you play is going to be so amazing and so full of positivity. Everyone's going to have a great time.
Yeah, we always have a great time. I'm just out there. That's part of my purpose is you know, you feel it too. Like that adrenaline rush of getting on stage is like nothing else. You can't describe it to someone else who hasn't done it. But that feeling is something that like I was away from it for 5 years, and then we recently just got back. And coming back to it, it reminded me so much of why I'm here and why everybody's here. It's just to have fun and entertain and just. I don't know, man. Just love each other like that. I think that's the bottom line of kind of our conversation, bringing it full circle, right?
Yeah, and 5 years off, I bet your fans were so overwhelmed with gratitude to have you back.
Oh, it was mutual. It was all the gratitude was coming from the stage of the fact that they were still there and still excited. To be honest, it was like, okay, this is why we do this. You know, it's super fun. Speaking of the festivals, though, I did get to see your friends Josh and Nita when we did the Daytona Welcome to Rockville. So I was wondering, when I saw you guys did this Victoria song together, how did that come about? Did Nita reach out to you? Did Josh and Nita reach out to you? Is that how it started?
Yeah, I mean, we all know each other, right? And so Nita reached out to me, do you want to do this song? I listened to the song and I was like, this is ass kicking. I love it. And so I just tracked the vocals, you know, she wrote the whole thing. And when I heard her guitar solo, I was like, woo, you know, the chills just went out my body. And
it's a good solo. It's a good solo in that one.
So good. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And then they're like, hey, can you do a video? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. So it was an intimate, quiet set. Everyone was awesome. We got it done so quickly. It was just like almost meant to be, you know, and I feel like she's my sister, you know, we have so much in common. And so I was happy to do it. Honestly, I was really honored.
So you say you guys knew each other before, like what was your relationship like before? Were you guys acquaintances, or like, have you guys like hung out and been friends, been more friendly before that collaboration?
More like acquaintances, like-minded, you know, women in rock, and I feel like all the musicians kind of know each other, and so we have mutual friends.
At least by like 1 or 2 degrees of separation,
right?
Sure.
At least we're going to say one max. It's such a close. Yeah. But since then we've gotten closer, and we chat, we text, you know, we talk to each other. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and I love the concept of the video too. You could really, you know, the lyrics are going to do that too, but a lot of times it's good to put a visualizer, as we were talking about before, to it, and the whole, you know, story of like women in rock, and Nita more specifically on this song of, you know, I love that they went back to like her being a kid in her bedroom playing guitar and shit, and then coming up, and this is what it is now, victorious and everything. I thought that was really cool. Yeah,
that little girl, I'm blanking on her name. She did such a good job too.
They did good casting on that too. I was like, yeah. I could visually see that this could be a young Nita.
Did you guys freeze it? I wanted to see what posters were on the wall when they were there.
Oh, I didn't check that out. I'm gonna go back.
Because it wasn't just like all like metal. It was a little bit of everything, some grunge and stuff. It was kind of cool.
I got to go back and check that out. But yeah, so what do you guys got? You guys got some touring still coming up now?
We've been submitted for some tours this fall. I'm going to work on starting to write album 4. I think I'm going to take a little summer break for myself. And then around July, get into writing the 4th album, because I'm in the record cycle now. And I'm not going to rush it. I just want to make sure the songs are great and, you know, get all the pieces where they need to be, and we'll see. I'll be going out to Nashville with Scott Stevens for a little bit, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll have some good fall winter touring as well.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time and let you get back to all that, the songwriting. I hope it goes really well. I hope you get some more goosebumps in the writing process and recording process of the 4th album, and hope to see you out, and hopefully we cross paths again at one of these things, or I'll be down in San Diego in October. So if you're not touring then, maybe you could come out and we could actually meet each other in person proper, and then down the line when we collab on one of these really awesome drinks, we can.
No, that's awesome. I'm like, hello. Was it 50 Cent that did Vitamin Water?
It was, and he
made
a nickel. He made a nickel on it.
I mean, yeah, and you can use that pretty nickel that you make to help your community, help your families. You know,
absolutely.
I owe Music Cares so much money for paying for my rehab, so I just would like
Music
to.
Cares. Wait! Before I let you go,
awesome.
Music Cares paid for your rehab?
Music Cares paid for my rehab twice. So one of my biggest, greatest ambitions in life is to pay back every cent that they paid. Because had they not done that, I would not have ended up in Nashville and had this spiritual experience that I did that took my life down a totally awesome path. So I think everything happens for a reason. I went through this dark time, and but there was a purpose for it the whole time, and at the time I couldn't see. And now looking back, I'm like, man, I'm glad that I ended up in rehab, because, it worked out for the greater good. So my dream is to pay back every cent. That's why I said yes to the song with Mike Klink for the charity for Music Cares. I mean, I don't know how much that song will make, but I would just love to do something, immeasurably good for them however I can. So maybe we come up with a non-alcoholic beverage and I'll donate or something cool like that. You never know.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, and you're not too far either. So we should definitely cross paths maybe this summer, even without the cameras and the recording and all this shit.
I'm so down. That'd be awesome.
One thing I gotta say before I let you go, I'm not a religious guy, but I'd say agnostic. I don't really know what's up there. But my head from Korn spoke at my family member's church and stuff like that, because he does that.
Mm-hmm.
And he has such a good perspective of pardon me, speaking about it, but from kind of a different perspective of not like this is how it is, and just be a good person kind of thing. And it's interesting listening to you, because I got the same mentality where it doesn't feel forced or anything, or like, hey, you got to come over. It's just like, hey, this is my story. This is what helped me. If it helps you, this is great. So I do appreciate listening to you on your journey, the way you talk about it. Anyone can relate and take from it. So I appreciate that.
Yes, I've always said it's not about religion, it's about relationship. You have no idea how many, there's good and evil everywhere. There's good and evil in the church. There's good and evil out in the world. There's good and evil everywhere, right? So every moment of every day we have a choice. We're offered a choice. Are we going to be walking with good or walking with evil? Like operating in love or operating in fear, hate, condemnation. And so I love that. I know, and I hear Sonny from POD, also a believer. I've watched videos of Head talking about his experience and his testimony, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I think the overlining to this whole chat in this episode is just be kind to one another. It's okay. You don't have to believe a certain way. It's just at the end of the day, be kind to one another and work on yourself every day. I mean, we're not, like you said at the beginning, Dorothy, like none of us are fucking perfect. We're all human beings, and we're just trying to better ourselves, or at least I hope that's what everyone's trying to do at home right here. Just try and better yourself every day. It's okay to make mistakes. It is absolutely okay, because if you dwell on the mistakes, you're never going to move forward. Make the mistakes, find a way to make it better the next day and the next day after that.
And don't headbang, don't give yourself whiplash like I did, and always stretch before your high kicks.
And that was it. Thank you so much, Dorothy, for being here. We'll get in touch through management, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Right.
See you later.
Thank you.
Well, that was awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know what? And we got to have her back on and I was just thinking about talking to her, like she was talking about the mind control thing, and it's balcony talk. We got to have some kind of spinoff called balcony talk, where it's people out on your balcony and we do the late night chats that we have where we get real weird like that. Like
audio only.
Yeah. Audio only. Yeah.
No, man. What were we talking about before she came on? We were talking
about the show.
We were going to get back to the show. Yeah, we can get back to that another time. No, we don't need to talk about that here. But I do want to give a shout out. Last night I watched Irene Aldana at UFC against Amanda Nunes. It wasn't the best showing for Irene or Irene, however she pronounces it. But she
got to the end.
She got to the end. She didn't, and that's the greatest of all time that she went up against. Amanda, and she retired. Amanda Nunes announced her retirement. All respect to her and her dominance in the sport. And I hope to see Irene bounce back from that loss in great fashion. I think she will. So I just want to give a shout out to her and to Amanda Nunes for an incredible career. And you've earned that retirement in more ways than one, obviously. So I can't even truly speak to that, but I can imagine that feeling of coming to that point when you feel like you've accomplished enough and it's time to step away from the sport, at least in the ring. Hopefully she finds another spot somewhere outside the ring to still be close to the sport.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed it, but I did see you watched it. I did look at the highlights afterwards because I was curious. Yeah, unfortunate, but she'll bounce back. I have no worry
Oh, yeah.
about that.
And I love that she still comes out to our version of
Oh, me too. It's so fun. I showed Charlotte, my daughter. I was like, "Hey, listen to this song."
I was sitting up here in the just watching last night, and I was like, that's still cool. And all love to her and her team and everybody at the UFC. It's just I don't tune in all the time to UFC. There's so many fucking matches, to be honest. But when I do think that they're entertaining, and these people are putting in their lives into this sport, and it's very evident, and the corporation around it is doing a great job. So I just want to say I'm a fan, and kudos to all of them and everyone involved there.
Did you watch the McGregor documentary yet? Or the
Oh,
series?
I haven't. You told
It
me
looks
about
good.
that.
It looks.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. My mom said it was good, and my mom knows nothing.
Maybe it
about
wasn't you then. Somebody else was telling me about it and said it was super. I can't remember who it was. I apologize, but someone was telling me how interesting it was, and they also were not a MMA or UFC fan. So I was like, oh, that's cool, because I guess it goes into, more of the business side of stuff too, which I think, people can have their opinions of McGregor, the person or whatever, and they don't probably really know him. They just know what he puts out there, right? And I think that's strategic. There's a business side to all of this too, and he's polarizing in a beautiful way, and you can't knock it. Love or hate him, like that's what he does, and he does a brilliant job of it. I love him, but I understand other people might not as much, and I think that was another thing, like with Logan Paul, and like these are polarizing figures, right? And that's, I think that's what the world needs to see, is that there's another side to all these coins, and it's good to be open-minded to them, in my opinion.
Well, we keep circling back, but with WWE partnering with them, like he would be the promos he cuts in real life. Can you imagine the promos he cut in wrestling, dude?
He would have to bring it down a little bit, because.
Well, it's a little.
Well, I'm sure he could. If it, you're right though. If he wanted that in his journey, he could absolutely kill it in that in that world. I have no doubt, and I'd be here for it, man. I love that stuff. I love
Me
to be
too.
entertained.
He's entertaining, man.
That's what we're here for, man. But all right, man. Well, I'm going to get back to the rest of my Sunday. I know you got some stuff going on, so we'll put a bow on this one. And thank you, everyone, for listening, watching at home. Make sure you're following us, and we'll hope to see you out on the road sometime soon. Be on the lookout for that. So I guess that's it. Until next time, as always, cheers.